into your freshman year, what was the plan you had for your life? What did you want to study? What was your dream job? Or did you have no plan at all? Well, I was the planner. I had all my goals listed out with deadlines and checklists ready to go. I knew exactly what classes I was going to take each semester, what organizations I wanted to be a part of, and had already figured out how I was going to be a resident assistant. Everything was set with little margin of error. And according to that plan, the summer after my freshman year, I knew I wanted to get an internship. Now, getting an internship with a Fortune 50 company is kind of unheard of as a freshman, but it was my plan, so I had to make it happen. And in May, I got accepted into a program. My life plan was off to a great start. It was the epitome of the American dream in the works. Great education, great job, and great money. But what I also had were cubicles, 5 days a week, 9 hours a day, and most importantly, no more vision. I was there. I had made it. But I couldn't help but question whether this was the best path fit for me. I wasn't sure if day after day, month after month, and year after year that I wanted to follow this routine. And thankfully, I didn't have to. The next summer, instead, I decided to take a study abroad trip to Ghana, a trip that will forever change my life and how I viewed the world. I went to learn more about West African culture and the textiles, but I was fortunate enough to walk away with much more than that. We visited a program that helps educate girls and equip them with the tools needed so they could live independently. I immediately fell in love with the girls we met. I was in complete awe of their spirit, that all they seemingly didn't have, and all we too often take for granted, they had so much joy and love to give. And I heard the stories of girls like Munira, who was harvesting food so she could afford to go to school, and Esther, who was washing dishes at her neighbors' houses for money, fighting not to lose hope, fighting for an education so they too could follow the vision they had for their lives, a vision of greater. As we were about to leave, my group had gathered some items that we were going to leave behind for the girls. But as I went back on the bus, I went through my bag, searching through items I could leave behind, knowing that everything in my bag would never be enough. When I returned home, I shared my admiration of the girls with my best friend, Sasha, and we knew we wanted to be a part of helping these girls get an education. We wanted to make an impact, something greater than a one-time donation, and something greater than us. It was then that we had the idea for a new business, a full collection of clothes. I mean, everything you can imagine, from dresses, jackets, and even baby bow ties. So naturally, I went into planning mode, and I wanted to know exactly when we were going to launch, how many girls we were going to support, and how many items we were going to be able to sell each month. And we excitedly got started on the path that I had created, our sure path to success. Unfortunately, the plan I had meticulously crafted didn't get us very far, for two obvious reasons. First, I wasn't a designer, nor do I know anything about constructing a garment. And secondly, I don't have the bank account to afford a full collection of clothes. So again, I came to a crossroads of what to do next. I started to ask myself, was I crazy? Could I start a business? Or should I go back to the plan that I had initially set? But the girls were still there, and the need was still there. And we knew we couldn't stay in this place of defeat. So we were back to figuring out how we were going to support these girls. And so we revisited our full collection of clothes, and like I said, we had everything you can imagine, including scarves. It was then that we started with just that. 2 weeks after I graduated, I launched Benet full-time. Benet meaning expressing goodwill and desiring to help others. We have since evolved into a full collection of scarves committed to sponsoring education for these girls by sponsoring tuition, books, supplies, and uniforms so they can continue their secondary education. As an entrepreneur, I have learned to walk into the unknown. I can't lie to you all and say I'm no longer a planner, but I have traded living strictly by my plan for living by my vision. A vision that is not an outline or a structured list of things to do, but more so an idea of who I want to become. And I refer back to this vision in the midst of the hardships as a reminder to never lose focus and why I started on this journey. My vision now is not about me, but doing what I'm passionate about and making sure that I'm having an impact on the lives of others, my community, and my world. And I realize that no longer is my life confined to the checklist, the deadlines, and the plan, but that the vision that I have for greater is now becoming a reality. And I think back to the girls that I first met in Ghana, and I now read the letters of the girls we help support, and I hear the stories of how they too can follow the vision they have for their lives. How Rebecca can continue her dream to be a doctor, Munira a science teacher, and Esther a midwife. The vision of greater that they have to impact their lives, their families, and their country. We all seek the security of a plan and hope for this utopian moment when all things will align. Unfortunately, this time never arises. It certainly didn't for me. And if we're waiting for perfection, we will forever be waiting. When you live by a plan, you live by lists and lists of expected outcomes. But what happens when your plan fails? Instead, you must find your vision. Your vision will guide you. Every obstacle, every unforeseen turn you will face, your vision will guide you towards. With the vision, no longer are you confined to one outcome, but infinite opportunities. So, are you living by your plan, or are you living for your vision? Thank you.